What's up, guys, and welcome back to Sloppy Seconds. This time around, we are featuring the tight ends going into week number 4 of the NFL season 2022. My name's Trevor McNeil, and no longer alongside me for this week is Troy Welling. His internet died. He decided to go restart it, so we go forward, we go on. Without him, we'll never let go, Jack. We'll never forget. Of course, we're going to start this one out with where we were talking about in the New York Giants. The offense right now, not very good. Sterling Shepard, of course, being down for the year. Wide receivers 1 and 2, both questionable. Richie James is potentially going to be wide receiver 1 for this offense. Only increasing value for Saquon Barkley, but there is someone that is slowly flying under the radar, and this is a person that is owned in 0.3% of fantasy football leagues, and that is Daniel Bellinger, the tight end. If there's anybody that's going to catch this ball, I feel like it's going to be the safe option here. You're going to go with the tight end. Bellinger certainly made a splash last week in making this presence known. Is going to be tight end number 1. Had 5 targets on 43 snap count. So 12% of the time was getting the ball thrown your way, and that's just as good, if not better, than a majority of the tight ends here. And I feel like now in competition, or lack thereof, with the wide receivers for the New York Giants, Bellinger is certainly going to be a decent pickup. On the other side, looking for someone to play this week, and that's going to be a healthy Dalton Schultz or Dawson Knox, both of which are not overtly owned in fantasy leagues, still over that 60-70% mark, both of them with an injury designation going into this Sunday, but at the same time, both of which have a prolific offense, a good quarterback throwing their way, and with favorable matchups for both the Chargers and for Dallas, this is certainly 2 players that could produce on this one. And I said the Chargers because I also have an asterisk on Gerald Everett, meaning Buffalo playing against Baltimore. That is going to be a huge game for Josh Allen in that passing offense. You just hope that the score doesn't run up too high before they start to resort to the ground game. But Dalton Schultz and Gerald Everett both also on this list here to look for favorable matchups of tight ends to play. Everett really didn't produce a whole lot last week. Certainly did get tagged on the waiver wire for a lot of people to pick up, but did not quite produce this week or last week. But this week I think is going to be a lot better one. Players I'm going to be avoiding going into this week is one that is going to be and has been picked up in a decent amount of people streaming tight ends. That's Tyler Conklin. Of course, I did praise Conklin last week, and I hope that you listened to me in the sense that that was a player you could have got something out of, inflate the value, and then look for a potential trade out of this one for a wide receiver 3/wide receiver 4 type of player just to leave on your bench. This week, though, with Zach Wilson's return is the only note I have. Zach Wilson's coming back. We have no idea how the New York Jets offense is going to adapt into that. We all know that Zach Wilson was never very good at taking care of the ball, very prone to throwing interceptions, just cannot completely rely on how this offense is going to fare going into this week's matchup. So I'm leaving any New York Jets player on my bench explicitly because of the return of the quarterback until we see how the Jets will actually fare with Wilson coming back in. As I already mentioned, though, one of the players on the pickup, of course, Sloppy Seconds, the waiver wire is gone. You missed your chance for it. But Bellinger is a player that you will be able to pick up. Like I said, 0.3 ownership in ESPN leagues is going to be available no matter where you look. Has a favorable matchup. They're playing against Chicago. Is not a good team at all. So if you're looking for someone to catch the ball against a good opportunity for a really terrible pass defense, Daniel Bellinger is the one to go. I'm going to lay it all on the line and think even better than Cole Kmet against this New York Giants offense. Bellinger would be so much better off, and Kmet's numbers just continue to drop. I think 14 to 18% players or fantasy players are still dropping him off of that roster. So you're looking for a backup to replace Cole Kmet. Look on the other side of the ball for this weekend's matchup. The other one I'm going to give is to Hunter Henry, and that's actually for the same logical reason that we look at Bellinger. Wide receiver situation in New England is not very good. The quarterback situation is rocky. The fact that you have Brian Hoyer coming back in now, the same logic of Zach Wilson, you don't really know how it's going to fare, but I'm going to give the experience that Hoyer has over the inexperience for Zach Wilson as to where this ball is actually going to get thrown to, who has a potential for it. Of course, you still have Jacoby Myers, Devontae Parker, Nelson Aguilar. This is a solid New England wide receiver core. It's just a really bad offense, and I feel that because of the question mark that Brian Hoyer is offering in this one, Hunter Henry might be a safe option against a decent defense. So if you're looking for something maybe on the safer side, I don't think Henry's going to get you 0 points. I also don't think Henry's going to get you 10 points, but somewhere in the middle there, if you want net positive, I think Hunter Henry's worth at least a look here on that post waiver wire. The sloppy seconds, of course, because everybody else already got to him first. Of course, if you think there are any better tight ends out there, or if you're just streaming week to week, let me know who you are going to be picking up this week, because I am curious to see, looking for some alternatives of my own, as I'm stuck with Hayden Hurst, who, frankly, is giving me that Hurst donut. It's not working very well. Looking, of course, to try to pick someone else up. So, curious to hear who you think might be the suggestion. Of course, thank you for watching. If you'd like to see more of the sloppy seconds, we got it all. We got quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, and defenses here on the channel. So be sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so you can see when I post these every single week. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.